Welcome to How to Design a Professional Slide Deck. The visual rhetorical choices you make when designing a slide deck can make or break your presentation. We will go over 5 basic design principles for slide deck creation. These are not hard and fast rules, so remember to use your better judgment and your industry knowledge when presenting on professional topics. However, you will be pointed in the right direction and hopefully given some inspiration. This tutorial will help your slides look more professional and increase your credibility to your audience. If your slides look good, so will you. First, you want to identify your message. What should your audience remember? If you want them to take one thing away from your presentation, what would it be? In order to do this, you will want to narrow your focus. Anything that is unnecessary and doesn't support your overall message doesn't need to be included. It will only confuse your audience. Most of us only remember 3 main points from a presentation. After that, things get a little fuzzy. Again, these 3 points should serve as evidence to support your message. So, make sure you choose the 3 most critical and stick with them. Keep it simple. The second tip is that less is more. You don't want to overcrowd your slides with graphics and words. Your slides are meant to enhance yourself and your message. The last thing you want is for them to be a negative distraction to your audience. This means you should try your best to include 1 idea per slide. If you try to include any more than that, things can get a little overwhelming and your audience might feel overloaded with information. With that being said, stay away from using bullet points and full sentences. Your audience will get bored because not only is this not visually interesting, but they can read faster than you can talk. They will have just read what you are talking about, making your presentation seem repetitive. So, instead of adding a bulleted list to your slide deck, add more slides for more ideas. Because your audience will be filled with super speedy readers, design your slides so that they can understand the idea in 3 seconds or less. This will put the audience's attention back to you as the speaker and back to your message. This is not always realistic depending on your presentation topic and your audience, but is a good tip to keep your slides from becoming confusing. Thirdly, choosing the right font can help elevate your presentation and make you look that much more professional, while also adding a bit of personality. There are a lot of fonts that are outdated, old, and overused. I have a feeling you might know the ones I'm talking about. You'll want to stay away from fonts like Times New Roman, Arial, Courier, and Comic Sans, especially Comic Sans. There is an infinite amount of new and better font choices out there, so here are some examples. These are just a few different examples of fun fonts that still look professional. Make sure that you choose fonts that are easy to read to increase the accessibility of your slide deck for your audience. Additionally, you'll want to choose no more than 2 to 3 font styles to use in a single presentation. This will make sure all of your slides look cohesive and well put together. We suggest that you use Canva to create your slide decks. They have a large font library with font suggestions for every kind of presentation and even have font pairing suggestions if you aren't sure what kinds of fonts will look good together on a slide. Our 4th tip is to choose captivating images for your slide deck. Don't just tell your audience what you mean. Make sure to show them. For slide decks, it's true that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Double check that the images you are choosing for your slides are high quality. When you choose a low quality image, not only do you appear less professional, but it makes it harder for your audience to see and understand your ideas. If you have images of people in your presentation, it is disrespectful to include bad or low quality photos of them, because it also makes them look less professional. Now, that's much better. When you want to put an image on a slide, make sure that it is full bleed. Now, what does full bleed mean? It means that your image takes up the entirety of the slide, so no edges should be peeking out from behind the image. The larger your image is, the more impactful and the more easily it can be seen by members of your audience. Another trick for choosing captivating images is to utilize the rule of thirds. Notice how the images are placed along this grid, splitting the slide into 3 sections. By using images and placing their subjects on this grid, you will create more visual interest and have more professional-looking pictures. This will also give you some room to add details to enhance your idea. The 5th and final design principle is eye-catching colors. Pick a color scheme that fits well with your message, and once you do, make sure to stick to it. This is the color scheme that I chose for this slide deck. Choose colors that complement and play off of each other. Avoid colors that are too bright or color combinations that will strain your audience's eyes. The colors that I chose for this presentation are easy on the eyes and pair well with the colors in my images. This allowed me to have more freedom when choosing images that would still look cohesive in my slide deck. In this tutorial, we went over 5 design principles to help you make informed rhetorical choices when creating your next slideshow presentation. First, we went over how to enhance your message and draw out the main points. Second, we discussed how to keep it simple by creating clean-looking slides that aren't cluttered or confusing. Third, we went over what fonts to stay away from and some modern alternatives to bring some fun into your presentation. Fourth, we discussed how to choose professional-looking images that your whole audience can see and understand. Lastly, we showed you how to choose the right color scheme for your slide deck, and that even bad color combinations can be eye-catching, but in the wrong way.